Hi. For this week's Hebrew decoding lesson, I want to talk a little bit more about letter lookalikes and how we tell apart letters that are similar so that we can find the differences to help us as we are reading. The first letters we're going to look at are Dalet and Resh. Remember, in Hebrew, we always read from right to left, so we're going to approach all of our letters in that direction as well. The Dalet makes a D sound. The way I remember that it's a dalet is the dalet has a dent. So right here you can see the dent. In some fonts, the top line here will be a little beyond the other line, and the dent will be formed that way. But it'll always be made from straight lines with a dent. Versus the resh here, where the resh is rounded. You will always see a rounding between the top and the bottom line. And the resh makes a R sound. Our next letter lookalikes are our tzadi and our ayin. Our tzadi is made of straight lines. These, you can see here, these lines are a little bit embellished. It kind of depends on the font, but the essence of the lines is essentially straight. And then a tzadi makes a ts sound. It's not really a sound we have in English, but it's made by making a T, putting your tongue where you would make a T sound, and then adding a Z or an S sound at the end of your T. So, ts. As opposed to over here, we have an ayin. The ayin is more opened. It's made from two lines rather than three. And it's the sound of an ayin is silent, which means that it will make just the sound of the vowel that is attached to it, but the letter itself is silent. Now we're going to look at our bet and our vet. If you notice, bet and vet are the same letter. The only difference is this dot here. In Hebrew, we call this dot the dagesh. And with the bet and the vet, that dot there tells us that the sound changes. So for a bet has a button, and it makes a B sound. And the vet is vacant and makes a V sound. We have the same thing here with kaf and chaf, where kaf and chaf are the same letter, but with one has the dagesh and one doesn't. So without the dagesh, we have the chaf. The chaf has a cold, and we can say that because the chaf makes a ch sound, which kind of sounds a little bit like there's a little bit of gunk in your throat. Remember, in English, we'll often notate the ch sound as ch. Remember, it's not ch. There is no ch sound in Hebrew. We say ch as in the word Chanukah. And then over here we have the kaf, which makes a hard k sound. The kaf then now has a cough drop in the center. Now that we've looked at the chaf and the vet, I want a chance to compare the two, since the chaf and the vet do have some similarities. If you notice here that the chaf is more curved, and again it makes the ch sound as in Chanukah, and the vet has a vertical line here, and the other two lines are more straight and parallel, and it makes a V sound. Now we have our mem and our tet. The mem here, it has a mouth here at the bottom, and it makes a m sound. The tet over here has its opening on the top. So the tet is open on top, and it makes a t sound. Here we have our nun and our gimel. They're both letters on the dreidel, so they might be a little bit familiar from that. The nun has nothing. Can help you remember how to play dreidel as well, because nothing happens when you get your nun. It also is a letter where there is no tail. So an N makes a N sound. Over here you've got a gimel, and the gimel has got a tail, and it makes a G sound. Also, when you're playing dreidel, with the gimel, you get all of the pieces in the pot. For our final, we're going to compare three different letters that are often confused. We have our hey, our chet, and our taf. Hey, here, it has a hole, and it makes a h sound, a lot like an H. If it's at the end of the word, it's going to be silent. Our chet here is a chuppah. So it sounds like a ch, like as in Chanukah, same as our chaf before. And it is, all of it is connected, just like the pieces of a chuppah are connected to the top of the canopy. Our tav over here has a toe, and it makes a t sound. I hope you found this useful and are able to use this to help you review your letters and to feel more confident in distinguishing all of their differences.